नामयाम नियोदित भगत गीत सामे नामयाम नियोदित भगत नामयाम नियोदित भगत गीत सामे भगत गीत सामे नारद मुनि भजय वीणा तारिक रामन नामे भजय वीणा नारद मुनि बजाय वीणा तारिक रामन नामे अमीय धारा वरिष्ठ घना श्रवण जोगल घेरा अमीय धारा भगत जन तेरा अमीय धारा वरिष्ठ घना श्रवण जोगल घेरा भगत जाना सघन नाचे भरिया अपन हेरा भगत जाना सघन नाचे भरिया अपन हेरा भगत जाना सघन नाचे भरिया अपन हेरा गणनाते बारिया नारद मुनि भजय वीणा राधिक रामन नामे नारद मुनि माधुरी पूरा सब पति माता जगत जाने माधुरी पूरा माता जगत जाने माधुरी पूरा सब पक्षी माता जगत जाने माधुरी पूरा माताय जगत के हो के हो बनाते के हो के हो कांदे के हो बनाचे के हो माते मन माने के हो बनाचे के हो माते नारद मुनि बजाय वीणा राधिक रामन नामे पंत बदना नारदेश्वरी प्रेम था सघन रोना पंत बदना नारदेश्वरी प्रेम सघन नारदेश्वरी प्रेम सघन रोना कमलासन नाचिया बले बोला बोला हरि बोल कमलासन नाचिया बले बोलो बोलो हरि बोल कमलासन नाचिया भले बोलो बोलो हरि बोल। कमलासन नाचिया भले बोलो बोलो हरि बोल। हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। भारत मुनि बधाई दीना करा मन नामे। भारत मुनि बधाई दीना सहस्रानन परम सुखे हरि हरि बलिदान। सहस्रानन परम सुखे हरि हरि बलिदान। सहस्रानन परम सुखे हरि हरि बलिदान। परम पूज्य हरि हरि बलिदान। नाम प्रभावे माति न विश्वा नाम रसा सभे भवे माति न विश्वा नाम रसा सब पार। नारद मुनि बताए दीना राधिका रामन नामे। नारद मुनि बताए दीना। हे कृष्ण नाम रसन सुरे पुराल अमर आशा। हे कृष्ण नाम रसन सुरे पुराल अमर आशा। हे कृष्ण नाम रसन सुरे पुराल अमर आशा। हे कृष्ण सूरे पुरला मराशा। तेरो पदे आचैहा भक्ति विनोद रासा। पदे आचैहा भक्ति विनोद रासा। तेरो पदे आचय हा भक्ति विनोद रासा। पदे आचय हा भक्ति विनोद रासा। नारद मुनि बताए दीना राधिका मन नामे। माया मरे हृदय तमो भक्त चेत सामे। नारद मुनि बताए दीना राधिका रमन नामे। नारद मुनि बताए दीना राधिका रमन नामे। 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 राधिका जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। दया गौरनिताय 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 गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। श्रील भक्तिविनोद ठाकुर की जय, श्रील नारद मुनि की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Connect audio. Connect to stop share. Hare Krishna, confirm if you can, if audio is perceivable. So I'll just read translation of this wonderful bhajan, simply ecstatic bhajan. When the great soul Narad Muni plays his veena, the holy name Radhikaraman descends and immediately appears amidst the kirtan of the Lord's devotees. Like a monsoon cloud, the holy name showers nectar in their ears. All the devotees, due to great ecstasy, repeatedly dance to their heart's content. All the people of the universe become maddened upon entering this intoxicating shower of nectar. Some people cry, some dance, and others become fully intoxicated within their minds. Lord Shiva, embracing Narad Muni, repeatedly makes loud screams of ecstatic joy. And Lord Brahma, dancing very ecstatically, says, all of you kindly chant Hari Bol, Hari Bol. In great happiness, the thousand-faced Ananta Shesh chants Hari Hari. By the influence of the transcendent vibration of holy name, the whole universe becomes ecstatically maddened, and everyone tastes the mellows of the holy name. Thakur Bhaktivinoda, the humble servant of the Lord, says, the holy name of Krishna has fulfilled all my desires by vibrating on everyone's tongue. Bhaktivinoda therefore prays at the feet of Sri Rupa Goswami that the chanting of Harinam may continue like this always. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all of you to today's Bhagavatam class on Narad Muni section from Canto 1, Chapter 6, 26th verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतः सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्र पठन्. Oh, how come? I should stop share and share. I think I will switch this off and because I've already done that. You have extended the screen. Oh, is it? So I'll put duplicate. Yeah. Screen mirroring is there. Not come. Stop extending. Okay. Done. Done. Okay. Choose to mirror from the this menu. Settings on the Isn't no? This one. Why it's not showing now? No, it is HDMI. We don't have choose content. Entire screen, extend screen, entire screen, start. Wait, this. I just cancel it. It's in PowerPoint mode. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं स्तुष्टमनागतस्पृहः कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरः. I'm not sure it. नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं स्तुष्टमनागतस्पृहः कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरा. नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं स्तुष्टमनागतस्पृहा कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरा. वैष्णवस् नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं स्तुष्टमनागतस्पृहा कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरा. वैष्णवस् नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं तुष्टमनागतस्पृहा कालं प्रतीक्षन् विमदो विमत्सरा. Namani, the holy name, fame, etc. Anantasya, of the unlimited. Hatatrapaha, being freed from all the formalities of the material world. Pathan, by recitation, repeated reading, etc. Guhyani, mysterious. Badrani, all benedictory. Kritani, activities. Cha, and Smaran, constantly remembering. Gam, on the earth. Paryatan, traveling all through. Tushtamanaha, fully satisfied. Gatasprihaha, completely freed from all material desires. Kalam, time. Pratikshan, awaiting. Vimadaha, without being proud. Vimatsaraha, without being envious. Word to word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of the material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are all benedictory. So doing, I traveled all over the earth, fully satisfied and without being proud or envious. The life of a sincere devotee of the Lord is thus explained in a nutshell by Narada Muni by his personal example. Such a devotee, after his initiation by the Lord or his bona fide representative, takes very seriously the chanting of the glories of the Lord and traveling all over the world so that others may also hear the glories of the Lord. Such devotees have no desire for material gain. They are conducted by one desire to go back to Godhead. This awaits them in due course of quitting the material body. Because they have the highest aim of life going back to Godhead, they are never envious of anyone, nor are they proud of being eligible to go back to Godhead. Their only business is to chant and remember the holy name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord, and according to personal capacity, to distribute the message for others' welfare without motive of material gain. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये आञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So once again welcoming all of you to today's Bhagavatam class, and we are seeing the continuation of Narad Muni's section where he is describing the perfection of his sadhana. And before I can start, I would like to seek blessings and prayers of all Vaishnavas assembled here, so that the right words may attain the right spirit of service to all of you, glorification of Krishna, and purification of my own heart. Hare Krishna. Jai. So, here in this verse, we see that Namanyanantasya hatatrapah patan. So, Narad Muni is describing his activities after. So, we know the life of Narad Muni. We've been hearing this class and we have been hearing from so many times that Narad Muni, because he was as Upabarhana, he actually was singing in Vaikuntha for someone else to please some Apsara or some heavenly damsel. Then he got cursed to become a Dasi Putra. And then when he became a Dasi Putra, he was having a very humble beginning. And somehow by good fortune, he came across the Bhakti Vedantas, pure devotees of the Lord, who were just traveling in Chaturmas. They resided in the same place where Narad Muni and his mother would stay in the forest. And that time he got the great opportunity to serve these Bhakti Vedantas, and is described that with great humility, control of senses, discipline, focused mind, and with all humility, he would serve the Bhakti Vedantas and even take part in their remnants, Uchishta Lepan. So, in this way, he gradually developed great ruchi for hearing about Krishna, and all that he heard from the Bhakti Vedantas actually went and sat in his heart, because he took the Uchishta and took a very humble position as a servant of the Bhakti Vedantas. In that way, after the Bhaktivedantas left, he felt great separation. And he understood that because he had only a single mother and she had no other, people to take care of her, he actually, even though he had great taste for going and doing devotional service, chanting holy name, travel around the world, give out holy name, but he controlled himself because he had to be responsible. And then by the inconceivable will of providence, his mother suddenly got bit one day by a serpent and she immediately died. And he took this reversal as ordained by Krishna so that he can become serious in his life. Okay, so it is not to scare us that if we want to become serious, then Krishna will take away all our family members. But the whole point is, if we are committed to devotional service, if we are serious on the path, then Krishna will make all the arrangement necessary for us to progress on spiritual path. Many times you see Prahalad, he was so much being harassed by Hiranyakashipu. And sometimes we see new boys also, their parents won't allow them to chant or take only prasadam, etc., or not indulge in material activities like watching movies or do other mundane things. Then the parents are surprised. Just few months back, you were just like any ordinary boy, but today you are acting so different. For them, like Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, he says that one should resist the temptation to become normal in this world. Why? Because the so called normal people in this world accept the values and practices of an insane world. Wonderful, huh? His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj ki jai. So we must resist the temptation to be normal means not we become a lunatic, but we become mad for Krishna, because today's society is designed such a way it goes against the principles of Krishna consciousness. To fit into today's society is not a big thing. It's against our natural tendency to serve and love Krishna. And in this way, he took this reversal of his own mother's death as an opportunity given by Krishna to become serious on the path of devotional service, and he started traveling like a mendicant. And he traveled and traveled, he started observing. So, what a sannyasi does, he actually observes how Krishna, through different arrangements in material nature, is actually caring for the jivas, providing for the jivas. And that we started observing. He was so fascinated. Oh, Krishna is giving rain. Krishna has locked up water as oceans. And like that, so many realizations he would keep getting. And one day he was tired, so he took a quick bath and sat under a banyan tree to do what? Meditate, yeah, and chant. So as he sat for meditation, the mind was so immediately fixed on the holy name, on holy, darshan of the Lord, like he was imagining, not imagining, but meditating on the form of the Lord. And so quickly, he got the darshan of the Lord. And even before that, his eyes were filled with tears of love. So it describes that he was already on the level of prema. So, what was the secret to Narad Muni's success? Yeah, because he took the Uchishta of Bhaktivantas and served them humbly. By pleasing a Vaishnava, one can make such swift progress. And that's what Narad Muni is saying. And then he got the darshan of the Supreme Lord in his meditation, and he was so amazed to get the darshan of Supreme Lord. And immediately, within moments, the darshan disappeared. And he was so frantic, he was distraught, his heart was broken, because when you get glimpse of Krishna, that taste, that highest, experience of spiritual perfection, once you lose it, it's as if you can imagine a cow which loses her calf amidst a big storm. How desperate the cow will be, correct? Now, where's the calf gone? Where's the calf gone? Similarly, a devotee who gets a glimpse of Krishna, but due to some cause loses Krishna, becomes, the spiritual life becomes dry, then he becomes distraught, he becomes mad. So in that way, Narad Muni tried to, focus his mind, bring his mind, try to imagine the Lord, etc., etc. Through mechanical means, he could not get the Lord. But after some time, seeing the frantic efforts of Narad Boy, what happened? The Lord spoke. And that's what we discussed a few days back. He said that Sakrid Yad Darshitam Rupam. Just once I've given you my darshan and I've taken it away so that you can increase a longing for me, because your maturity in devotional service is not full. Your service in devotional service is not complete. Hence, you need to increase the longing for me, and then you will attain perfection. So Krishna has already given the word that you will attain perfection. So after he heard this divine voice of the Supreme Lord, which is non-different from form because Krishna is absolute, then he became so ecstatic, so carefree, and so blissful that he started doing this. Namanyanantasya hatatrapah patan means he started chanting the names of Krishna without any consideration. Sometimes we go on kirtan, then we are, little wary about, oh, he's seeing, she's seeing, what will they think of me? I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a civilized person in the society, what will they think of me? So we are so much fearful of what others think. But for Narad Muni, hatah tapah pathan, he did not give a damn about what others think. He was simply absorbed in chanting the names of Krishna. And not only chanting the names of Krishna, also remembering the holy fame and glories of Krishna. So, Guhyani, Badrani, Kritani Chasmaran. Guhyani means those which are confidential. Badrani means which is very auspicious. Kritani means which is the activities of the Lord. So, these activities which are confidential, which are all auspicious for the whole world, he started remembering and narrating. Right? Pathan. Gam Paryatam. And doing this, he traveled all over the world distributing the holy name and fame of the Lord. And what was his disposition? Tushtamana. He was completely satisfied and free from all kinds of material desires. Sometimes when we do kirtan, we expect, oh, if we're in mode of ignorance, then we start thinking, oh, what will he or she think about me? If we're in mode of passion, then we start saying, I hope they're thinking something about me, and it's good. Basically, attention seeking. I'm doing nice kirtan means everyone should be appreciating me, not Krishna. So there only while doing kirtan for Lord, we start to have a competition with Krishna. The audience is seeing Krishna, the audience is seeing me. Mode of passion, correct? No? So, like that, but Narad Muni was not like that. Because of his, the fruit of prema has completely erupted from the Bhakti Lata, his love had matured and he was simply doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna. And because of that, his heart was fully satisfied. And because of that, there was no need for material desires. To the extent we have material desires in this world, to that extent we are devoid of Krishna in the heart. Right? To the extent we have material desires in this world, to that degree we are devoid of Krishna in our heart. And so he was Tushtamana and Gataspriha, satisfied and no more material desires. Kalam Pratiksham, he was just waiting, when will that day come? Then when I will become associate of the Lord, so I can continually serve him. Because in this world there's a problem. What is the problem? If you want to serve, there's so many interruptions. You have to sleep, then you have to take care of your body. You have to go take bath, or go for clearing, you have to take prasad. So many arrangements for the body is required because we're in the material world. But now Narad Muni's eagerness to serve the Lord had gone to such an extent that he was thinking, when will that day come that I don't have to care for my body? You see, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were also in this mood. They would hardly sleep for 1 or 2 hours, hardly eat anything in 1 to 3 days. Like Raghunath Das Goswami, it is described that he would take a little buttermilk on a leaf and he would drink. Right? And that too not any leaf. Once one devotee brought him one leaf from a tree and he saw this leaf and threw it. Why? Because this leaf was from the forest of, no, Chandravali, correct? Chandravali. So that is like on a Leela platform, Rasa platform, she is like enemy of Radharani. They have a competition for Krishna. So in that way, he rejected it. Already he was taking once in 3 days. And now someone brought in a leaf which is from another forest of Chandravali. Because not Radharani's, he rejected it. So they were all completely on spiritual platforms so they could overcome material necessities of the body. But we cannot artificially do it. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if we are going to imitate the activities of Goswami, we are definitely going to die. So we should not imitate, correct? So we should accept our stage and do the needful to progress. But Narad Boy was so eager to serve Krishna that he wanted, very badly to go to the spiritual world. That's why Prabhupada says the only desire conducting the activities of a pure devotee is the desire to go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Kala Pratikshan. So he was waiting and waiting and waiting. But Kala Pratikshan doesn't mean you're desperate and you're simply thinking, Krishna, why are you not taking me? And start blaming Krishna or become very, impatient. No. Kalam Pratikshan means he knows Krishna will take me. He has full confidence and he is very patient because he has full faith in the activities of the Supreme Lord. That whatever Krishna is doing, he's doing for my best. Like that. So Kalam Pratiksham. Vimado Vimatsaraha. No envy and no pride. Envy and pride comes because we have material desires. Already is Gata Spriha. So no material desire. So no envy, no pride. Right? So this is the status of Narada boy in current, discussion. So in the purport, Prabhupada says that this purport or this verse talks about, in brief, the sincere life of a devotee. Correct? And Prabhupada explains these 5 aspects only. What are the 5 aspects? 1, Prabhupada says, such a devotee, after his initiation by the Lord or bona fide representative, takes very seriously the chanting of glories of the Lord. That is nothing but Namani Anantasya. And then he says, traveling all over the world to distribute the glories and fame of the Lord, name of the Lord. Correct? So that is, preaching, and that is Gam Paryatam from the verse. And then he says they have no desire for material gain, Tushtamana and Gata Spriha. Then he says that he freed from pride and envy. That is Vimada, Vimatsaraha. Right? And they're conducted by single desire to go back home, back to God at Kalam Pratikshan. So these are the five aspects that characterizes the life of a sincere devotee. Correct? Now we'll begin today's discussion. So this was just to give you overview of the verse. So we understand, when we read or try to understand this verse, when we make a link between the various parts of the verse, it becomes so relishable and very relevant. So now, from the life of Narad Boy, it's a life of service, it's a life of humility, it's a life of sacrifice, discipline, focusing mind, a life of developing love for Krishna, and then undergoing the separation of Krishna, increasing one's longing for Krishna, and coming to that point of maturity of love that he only feels to give, just like a tree. If you see a tree gives shade, it's home to many birds and animals. But what the birds and animals do? Pass stool on the tree, and it is also giving shade to a man, but what the man does, nothing for the tree, correct? Rather, he might cut it down later, but still it doesn't complain. It gives and gives, and when cut, it doesn't complain. Right? Amazing, the quality of tree. Even Krishna, he explains to Balram in Krishna book that, see the glory of the tree, this is the most glorious living entity, because he knows only to give, never to take. Right? And that's what a person in pure devotional love ecstasy can do, because his heart is full. He only knows to give, no more taking. In this world, if we see, pride means that I'm so great, I'm big, I'm great means I deserve what? The entire world. So how much ever we get, we never become satisfied, and we never become grateful, because I deserve the entire world and you're giving me some small things, so I will not be grateful. Correct? That's the problem with pride. Like when mother, she told her daughter, my dear child, go and get me a glass of water. And the child said, no. And then the mother said, my God, how dare you? 9 whole months I have borne you within my womb. I have given birth to you undergoing labor pain. I have taken care of you. I have stayed awake for so many nights because you were crying. I have fed you my own milk. I have done this, I have done that, I have done that, I have done this. In that way, she went on and on what all she has done. And can you not get me a glass of water? Of course, from her point of view, it is valid. But the whole point is, even the most pristine love of this world, that is mother's love for the child, that is also contaminated with some selfishness. Correct? And even if the mother doesn't complain, she loves whose child? Her own child. She cannot love the neighbor's child. Correct? Rather, it is one's own pride and neighbor's envy. That's the rule of this world, because of the false ego contamination. So the whole point is, even the pristine, the purest love of this world is contaminated with some selfishness. But a pure devotee of the Lord, his love transcends that of this world, because it's beyond the modes. It's no more selfishness, it's only for Krishna. And because I love Krishna, I love everything in relation to Krishna. And what is not related to Krishna? Everything is in relation with Krishna. Right? Stavara jangama deke, na deke tara murti, सर्वत्र होय निजा इष्टादेव स्फूर्ति. So such a person like Narad Boy is going, when he is chanting the holy name Namani Anantasya, he's actually getting the full experience of Krishna in the name. Correct? And he's also able to see Krishna everywhere else. Like Prahlad, Hiranyakashipu asked, where is your supreme Lord who is giving me strength? You dare to say that I get my strength from your Vishnu. Where is that Lord? Is he there in this pillar? And he just saw the pillar. Yes, he was there. So for Prahlad, it was no difficult thing. It's not that what if Krishna doesn't appear? No, he saw Krishna there in the pillar. Like that. So that's the vision of a pure devotee. Stavara jangama deke na deke taramut. That means when he sees something, non-moving or moving, he's only seeing Krishna. He's seeing how it is related to Krishna. He's seeing Sakshat, Paramatma Krishna, and also his Ishtadev. That means if he is in love with Radha Madhav, he's seeing Radha Madhav everywhere. Right? Like that. And he never sees anything else. He doesn't see the object. He sees Krishna. Correct? So that is the vision that Narad Boy is experiencing now. Amazing, na? And we saw this bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narada Muni Bhajai Veena Radhika Ramana. So what it explains is, when Narad Muni sings Radhika Raman on his playing Veena, Radhika Raman are descending from Golok Vrindavan, and they're amidst the devotees. That's the power of the chanting of the pure souls, right? So this is the life of Narad Bhai, such perfection, such focus, such service, correct now? Now, why this is important? We often say that person Bhagavat is more important than book Bhagavat, correct? Why person Bhagavat is more important? Because the person Bhagavat shows through his own activities, his own realizations, his own applications of those realizations, how to actually apply book Bhagavat. Otherwise, we read so many things like, for example, Dehe nosman yata dehe kaumaram yavaram jara tada dehantara prapti dhiras tattana muhyati. Prabhupada says left and right in so many lectures, tatta that is dhiras tattana muhyati. A person who is sober never laments for that which has an end. Correct? We all know this philosophy. But when Brahmanand Maharaj then, he was sent to Pakistan. And then there was a news that 4 Vaishnavas were killed because of some violence going on in Pakistan. Prabhupada was so heartbroken, he started crying, remembering Brahmanand Maharaj. Correct? Then how is this philosophy applicable? One place, what one place? Millions of places Prabhupada is saying, you are not the body or spirit soul, hence don't cry for the destructible body. Your eternal spirit soul. On the other hand, Prabhupada is crying for Brahmanand Maharaj. Brahman Maharaj is also spirit soul. So he is also eternal. Then why is Prabhupada crying for the body? Right? So when we read only Shastra, we become proud and we think we can use Shastra to judge everyone. No, but when we understand the life of the Vaishnavas, great acharyas, then we know how to apply it with humility, with compassion. Correct? So that's why the person Bhagavat holds a higher position than book Bhagavat. Only reading books will not give you any knowledge. Serving Vaishnavas, glorifying the Vaishnavas, observing and studying their lives, that's what gives. And that's what Narad Muni is telling Vyasadeva. Why you should glorify only Krishna? Because I attain perfection. I attain perfection by glorifying only Krishna. And he describes the entire thing. Right? तर्को प्रतिष्ठश्रुतयो विभिन्ना नासावृषित्यस्य मतं न भिन्नं धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहायां महाजनो येन गतः सपन्ता. So Mahabharat says that just by doing tarka vitark, that actually in the olden days, if you're considered a very intelligent person, you should be able to defeat others in debate. Today's world, if you're considered if you want to be considered an intelligent person, you get a gold medal, or you should, get a very high MD degree, this degree. The more degrees, the more intelligent you're considered, which is completely wrong. Okay, I know many examples. So, in the earlier days, it was all tark vitark. It's about how you defeat another in debate. Then you are considered very intelligent, like Keshav Kashmiri in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And now, what this verse describes is, in those days, a muni or a sage, if he has to be given some importance, he should read the Shastra, use the Shastra, twist and turn the Shastra, and create his own philosophy. Then he is considered a very great man. He should make his own matam. So matam na binnam. Nasa rishiryasa matam na binnam. There's no rishi, a person who's called a rishi, an exalted title. There's no person who's given that title of a rishi if he has no separate or different philosophy or his own mata, his own way. So then what happens is, if everyone keeps having their own way, then how to find out the guhyam? How to understand the actual real religion which is hidden which is actually hidden in the Shastra? You cannot understand just by reading Shastra. Why? Because people have different mata, correct? So how to understand the real religion of love? There are many people who read Bhagavad Gita and still become atheists. There are many people who read Bhagavatam and they are only concerned how to find verses in Bhagavatam which support the Mayavadi philosophy. So what is the purpose of your reading? Correct? So in this way, even if we simply stick to books, it may cheat us. Why? Because we cannot get full realization just from the book. We have to get realization from the person. Right? That's why in Bhagavatam it is said, Swayambho Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manuhu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. So Vayam means who? Vayam means me, but who is saying this verse? Anyone? In the 6th canto? First few chapters? Yeah, so in this verse, it talks about the 12 Mahajans, right? Like starting from Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu. So Narada is also this one, Mahajan. And that's why we are studying his life. So these 12 Mahajans, Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kapila, Kumara, Sanat Kumaras, and Manu, Kapilo, Kumara, Kapilo, Manu. Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, and Bali Maharaj. Vyasaki is Vyasadev, and Vayam. Vayam means and me. So this person who is listing the 12 Mahajan, he says all these 11 and me. So who is that me? In part of Ajamil pastime. Hmm? No, no, he always says, na, Kuswayambur Narada Shambhu. Hmm? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So there's this Mahajan, he's a Mahajan, but he's saying 11 Mahajans and me out of humility. Yamraj. He's telling the Yamadutas, you cannot touch these people and you cannot understand real religion because the Yamadutas were asking, my dear Lord Yamraj, you are the one who is making us understand what is religion. And we tried to, based on that principle, we tried to go and get Ajamil, but Vishnu Dutas chased us away. Then what is real religion? And then he says that real religion is that which is ordained by the Supreme Lord. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagat pranitam. And before that he says, how can you understand this dharmam tu sakshat bhagat pranitam? Through the Bhagavatas. Who are the Bhagavatas and Mahajans? These 11 people and me, Yamraj. So even Yamraj is a Mahajan. Correct? He says, Dvadashaite Vijanimo. These 12 Mahajans, we know what is the Guhyam. That is confidential devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That Guhyam, real religion of love hidden in the Shastra, that we know. So without understanding the life of the devotee, you can never understand the book Bhagavat. That's the point. And many people also say that Smriti Shastra is for sentimentalists. Because Shruti and Smriti, these are broad divisions in Vedas. Shruti means which are actually ordained, word of God, Upanishads, right? And they are very, very difficult to understand. And fully in Sanskrit, and they mainly talk about how Krishna is not having any material characteristic. So he is Nirgun because he has no material quality and he doesn't have a name, doesn't have a material name. He doesn't have a limbs, means he doesn't have a material body like that. But these people who think themselves so great, they read Upanishads and only become impersonalists. Correct? But here we see that what is Smriti? Smriti is recollection by the sages. So there's sages, they read Upanishads, they read Shastra, then they analyze, they kind of assimilate kind of stories, like unbelievable kind of things. Correct? Now, how Lord came as a Varahadev from the nose of Brahma. Come on, get real, like that. So that is their thing. How can you? It's maybe only a metaphorical or a allegorical aspect. It's not actually just to make us learn some lessons. These are being mentioned in the Puranas as some stories, and it's not history. With everything in the Shastra is unless mentioned. Like when Narad Muni goes to our who is that? Prachina Barhishad king, because he was so materialistic and only doing yajnas to get prosperity, he goes and gives him a story. And he says that it is allegorical. It's described. The Narad Muni goes and gives him an allegorical story. That is allegorical. Allegorical means you make a story just to make the other person understand the lesson. Is that not actually true? But all the other stories in the Puranas are true. Correct? Narsimdev coming from pillar, Varaha coming from the nose, all that is true. But these people who are believers of Shruti, they say that Smritis is for sentimentalists and it is not to be followed. Correct? But here we see that Narad Muni, just by understanding the life of Narad Muni, so many principles from Srimad Bhagavatam were able to understand. Now, without the life of Narad Muni, Vyasadeva may not have understood what Narad Muni wanted to convey. So, Smriti is so important. Correct? Puranas are so important, and in that the topmost crust jewel Purana is Bhagavatam. Right? Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki? Yes. So Bhagavata Purana, everything has to be followed. That Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says that even a single syllable of the Bhagavatam can give you Krishna Prem. Okay. So in this way we see the importance of understanding the life, because now Narad Muni, we have been hearing about his life from how he was Dasiputra now till perfection. He's crying in tears while chanting the holy name. Right? So what he's doing? Namani Anantasya. So Nam or chanting the holy name is one of the most primeval activities for any devotee. Right? It's the main business of a devotee. Now, what is the family business of a devotee in ISKCON? Book distribution, right? So, and the main individual personal business is to simply chant the holy name. That's what makes us devotee of Krishna. So, devotee means devoted. If you're not chanting name of Krishna, is it that you're not chanting anyone's name? Now, okay, some person is chanting 4 rounds, which takes about 30 minutes. Remaining 23.5 hours of the day, what is he chanting? Is he chanting or not, first of all? He is chanting. What is he chanting? We're all chanting. We give 2 hours to Krishna and put the bead bag aside and continue with our chanting. What is that chanting? Chanting our name. We may not say, I may not say Abhay, 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 but through my activities, through my smaran, through my contemplation, what am I doing? I'm chanting my own name, right? It may not be so direct, but one, we like to hear others chant our name. Second, through our activities, we are just concerned, like Madhe said, for our own sense gratification, right? That is nothing but chanting my name. Chanting Krishna's name, why it becomes difficult? Because there's a big battle, like Samudra Manthan Leela, that kind of a big battle between I should chant my name or Krishna's name. That's the only cause for difficulty in chanting, right? Why extra 8 rounds after 16 rounds can you chant? No, Prabhu, I have to do this for me, correct? So in that way, we're not able to give even proper 2 hours, because when we sit to chant Krishna's name, only 2 hours out of 24 hours we are giving for Krishna's name. That time also, the tendency, the addiction to our name that we have to serve ourselves, to serve our egos is so strong. That time also it captures our consciousness and takes it away through the mode of passion or through the mode of ignorance or even through goodness, correct? So in this way, there's a constant battle between chanting our name or chanting Krishna's name, me or he. And this is the cause for fall down of the jiva to the material world, right? So, this chanting of holy name, hence, is foremost of a spiritual master's instructions. Like, what is the topmost instruction of Prabhupada? Chanting the 16 rounds or whatever prescribed rounds you have currently. That is the most important instruction, right? Why? Because that is the means and the goal are the same. What is the goal? Like Narad Muni, he is crying while chanting Krishna's name to attain that bhava and prema. That is the goal. But the means is also chanting the holy name. Hence, that's the foremost of Prabhupada or any spiritual master's instruction. And that's what we see that in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण मथुरावास श्री मूर्ति श्रद्धया sevan. That there are 5 panchanga bhakti, that if actually there's so many 64 principles in that. Panchanga bhakti means what? Sadhu sangha, nama kirtan, chanting holy name, and bhagavad shravan, like what all of us are doing. Then mathuravas, going to dham, and then fifth one is Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan, faithfully serving the deities. There are 5 Panchanga Bhakti, very, very, very powerful. Even if you hook on to one of the process strongly, Krishna Prema guaranteed. That powerful it is. But out of the 5 also, Sarvashreshta Nama Sankirtan, right? That's the power of the holy name. Because it cleanses one's heart thoroughly, provided we approach it with the same or the right mood. Okay? But Namani Anantasya, why not my name? Why not anyone else's name? Why Krishna's name? Now here Namani Anantasya means of the unlimited Lord. Why only Krishna's name we should chant? Because Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanyastura Savigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatvan Nama Naminoho means that Krishna's name is a living name. Our name is not living. We may be living in the body and name is for the body. Name per se is not living. What is the proof? If I am above and someone says, oh, where's Abhay? I will not even get to know. Correct? So that means what? Our name is living or non-living? Non-living. But Krishna's name is living name. Like Sachin Maharaj has written a book called The Living Name. One of the best books for japa transformation. Anyone's interested. So the living name. His Holiness Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. So Krishna's name is living name. So it reciprocates, it's alive. Harinam Prabhu. Correct? Now we say Srila Harinam Prabhu ki jai. So Harinam Prabhu, the holy name is alive. Radhika Ramana, they're coming when Narad Muni is singing. Who is coming? The Naam per se is coming. Right? So in that way, because it's non-different from the Supreme Lord, his living name, one. And because it is non-different from Supreme Lord, it is unlimited. Krishna is unlimited. Advaita Machyutam Anadi Mananta Rupam. Then Adyam Purana Purusham Navayauvanam Rasa Navayauvanam Cha. So, in this way, because Krishna is unlimited, he has unlimited forms, unlimited qualities, that even Ananta Shesh, we saw in the song, Ananta Shesh has descended and with thousands of mouths, he is singing and shedding tears. Each of the hoods, two eyes on each of the hoods of the thousands of hoods, everything, all the eyes are shedding tears of love. Right? So beautiful. So, Anantasya, so these unlimited glories are eternally being glorified by Anantadev and never to find a full stop. So unlimited glories, unlimited forms, unlimited qualities, everything about Krishna is unlimited. And when the holy name and the person are non-different, even the holy name is unlimited. Amazing, no? So one, because Krishna is unlimited, and second, unlimited means that Anantasya, it has unlimited rasa. It's not that we can find satiation, right? By chanting any mundane name, we find satiation. How much ever you like the name, you will find satiation. Like we often keep some name that we like to the child because we like it. Sometimes they combine half of mother's name, half of father's name and join it and give it to the child. Correct? You've seen that? But you cannot go on chanting that name, even though it's your own child's name. But after a point, there is satiation, right? But Krishna's name is not like that. Say we heard Prabhupada. He said, you keep any, John, John, John. How long can you go? But you say Krishna, 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 you can eternally go on, right? Why? Because the rasa is unlimited, and the thirst of the soul, which is very, very deep, and for eternity we have been, almost practically time immemorable. We have been continuing that thirst because of our separation from Krishna. That thirst can only be fulfilled by the unlimited rasa which is present in the holy name of Krishna. Okay, so why Namani Anantasya? Why Krishna's name? Because Krishna is non-different, and that's why Narad Muni is getting full experience of Krishna when he chants Krishna, right? And second is because he's unlimited rasa is there in Krishna's name. So we'll go on till 9 o'clock. Okay. So why not anyone's name? We discussed. Then how Narad Muni was chanting the holy name? Can anyone say from the verse if you remember? How Narad Muni was, you can say in English if you, without envy and without pride, that is last. Then, yes, very important. That hatat trapa patan. Hatat trapa means no formalities are considered. Doesn't mean become insensitive. You go on a train as a group and 9 p.m. everyone is sleeping, then you take Mridangam Kartal. Not like that. That I don't care for the material world. Hell with the material world. We are spiritual beings. Not like that. We have to be sensitive. We have to be encouraging. We have to be considerate and compassionate. But not caring for formalities of the material world means I'm not too much worried about what he thinks. Oh, am I singing proper rag? What she thinks, am I singing in the proper meter? What he thinks, am I singing the proper way, etc., etc. We also consider what people think. We are busy in satisfying Krishna, not the people of this world. Correct? So that's what it means by hatat tapah patan. So we are very, very fond of fitting in this world. We take so much anxiety. Everyone's so anxious. Why cosmetology industry is booming? Because we all want to fit in. Like in Korea, I've heard, north or south, I don't know, that they have a defined face cut in Korea. Every lady should have a defined face cut. If you're not fitting in that, you should better undergo some plastic surgery or dermatological procedure to fit the ratio of the face so that everyone looks alike. That's the foolishness. So in that way, modern man is always trying to fit in. But Bhakti Tirth Maharaj says that is foolishness. Don't try to fit in. Because today's world, people are considered normal, accept the values and practices of an insane world. Right? And whenever we render service to Krishna, we should never be shy, thinking what the others will think. No. In Gopi, what is that? Stealing Gopi's clothes. Correct, na? Gopi Vasana Hara, we sing na Yashomati Nandan. So Gopi Vasana Hara Leela, which is there, Krishna stole the clothes of gopis who were bathing in the Yamuna. And then he hid them along with him on the top of the tree. And these gopis started searching where are the clothes, and they're gopis, they cannot just come out like that. And then Krishna, told them that I have the clothes with me here. So how they will get it? They'll have to come out of the water as they are, completely naked, and then take it from Krishna near the tree. Why Krishna is doing such pranks? Correct, na? Sometimes people find difficulty in forgiving God. Like something happens to them or some child died of cancer. No, God doesn't have a heart. God, or he does this kind of leela. He has no manners, etc. Actually, whatever God does is on the absolute platform, is not subjected to the modes of the material world. And why Krishna did that? Because the gopis were intensely praying for, yeah, getting married to Krishna. And then, because Krishna saw them like that, he's understood that he married also. And later he married doing Brahma Vimohan Leela. And all the gopis, young gopis, were married to many cowherd boys. But that year, all the cowherd boy was Krishna. So everyone got married to Krishna. So in that way, in this Gopi Vasan Hara Leela, what we learn is that whenever we want to accept Krishna as our master, we should not be shy at all. We should not have, oh, this consideration, that consideration. Our only consideration is satisfying Krishna. That is the one of the lessons that we can learn from Gopi Vasan Hara Leela. So in that way, a devotee, when he chants the holy name, is not so worried about the world. He's worried about this Krishna being pleased. And how to achieve this state? How do you achieve this kind of a hatatapah patan mentality? How is it possible? So the more we identify with the body, then we worry about the world. The more we worry about or identify ourselves as a servant of Krishna, then we worry about Krishna. It's all about identification. Like yesterday we heard that Kunti's verse, Mother Kunti's verse. Bhavesmin Klishyamananam. Who remembers? Bhavesmin Klishyamananam. 3 words. Avidya leading to kama, leading to karma bihi. Correct? So all our mundane activities are mundane because our desire is mundane. That I want to enjoy. Kama. Why kama is there? Because of avidya. It has covered our original state of being, that we are part and parcel of Krishna. So avidya, kama and karma. But if you twist the table, instead of avidya, you have the vidya. Thanks to Prabhupada. We understand we are, servant of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are eternal. So with that vidya, kama becomes prema. And prema leads to what kind of activity? Service. No sense gratification. It's not karma. It is service. So avidya, kama, karma it becomes vidya, prema, seva. Correct? In this way, a devotee then is only concerned about pleasing Krishna, nothing else, no one else. Correct? So identification. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased with Prataprudra when he decided to give him mercy. When Prataprudra agreed to give up his, kingly disposition with his clothes and etc. Of course, before that also he was very humble. But then when he agreed to Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya's proposal that you go in simple white dhoti kurta as a humble Vaishnava, start massaging the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he started singing Gopi Geet. And the point of singing this beautiful verse, Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Biriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grananti Burida Jana. So that time when he ended this verse, Burida Jana, immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu woke up from his rest and he said, Burida, Burida, that great person is you, and immediately embraced. And he asked one very important question. So now Prataprudra for so long he was waiting for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy and he got embraced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Previously also once he got embraced. Correct? Now when he was about to fall, then Prataprudra held him and then he immediately embraced. Then he saw, oh king, Vishay, sense gratifier, stay away. That time his heart was broken. And now when he got this mercy, immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, who are you? And he said, I'm simply the servant of Krishna. And then that pleased Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he gave full mercy. Correct? So when we identify ourselves as servant of Krishna, that is when we can perform seva. And because the desire is no longer Indriya Icha, it is Krishna Icha. Right? Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tare Balikam Krishna Indriya Priti Icha Dhare Premanam. Then becomes Prema. Right? And even when we see that Orient lady, the old Orient lady, she comes to see Jagannath. And because she was a little short and it was full bustling with crowd in the Jagannath temple and Jagannath was so far away, she was feeling so much separation that she immediately ran and she saw this tall figure, golden figure. She put one foot on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one foot on Garuda. Offense to God, offense to his devotee. Two together, one in two. And sorry, two in one. And then she saw Jagannath with so much love and she was shedding tears. Then Govind, I think Govinda, who was his assistant that time, one assistant was there, and he said, my dear lady, what are you doing? Get down. Actually, he doesn't say my dear. He says that you are a aborigine, some tribal woman. How do you climb on the Supreme Lord? Get down. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rebukes him and says, stop. Look her to the love in her eyes for Lord Jagannath. When will I have that love? Correct? That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So, basically, what we try to understand from this pastime is she was having so much separation from Lord Jagannath that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not mind her climbing on him. So whenever we go to temple, whenever we are reading Bhagavatam, whenever we chant the holy name, put all the designations of the material world outside. Why we leave slippers outside? One is of course cleanliness. Second is along with the slippers, our topi, our tie, our shirt, pant, everything, all designations, MBBS, MD, if, all these degrees are kept outside the temple door. Here we are simply there to serve the devotees. Correct? So that is the mood with which we can actually be freed from others, what others will think of me, right? This is a call for freedom. So Anat and Sanat, we have heard. So which dog is more fortunate? A dog which has a master or the dog on the street? How many of you say the dog on the street has more freedom than the dog with the master? I mean, be honest. More freedom. Stray dog, na? So more freedom. Okay. Which is more happy? With master. But freedom and happiness are contradictory. How come? I thought happiness is freedom, freedom is happiness. Okay. The whole point is now the stray dog, it's on the street. And actually speaking from Tattva point of view, it is not free. Animals act on instinct. They have no freedom. Can they say, I want to chant holy name? They have no option, correct? And they're simply being conducted by the material modes, right? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Those instincts come, that time they will do it. That's all. What freedom is there? We may think it has the freedom to roam around, but that's a very superficial observation. Actually, it has no freedom. The jiva in that body of an animal has no freedom. Correct? He cannot choose to be liberated. He cannot choose to hear about Krishna. He cannot choose. He cannot do many things. Right? Animals mate in one season only. That's because of instinct. So in that way, when the mating is to some degree carried out by instinct or modes of material nature. So where is the freedom? But this dog, which has agreed to be subordinate to a master, he has a leash. So he's like if you have a leash under a master, that means you're not free. But because the master is kind, he takes care of him very well. Right? And hence the dog, even though it appears to be leashed, is more happy because the master feeds him, he serves the master, master is happy with him, and he takes care, he gets loving embrace from the master and caressing, etc. So this dog which is subordinate is called Sanat. He has a master. Whereas the other dog which is on the street may appear to be free, but actually simply being controlled by its own uncontrolled mind and senses under the influence of three modes of material nature. It's same with us. We don't accept Krishna as master, then we are also like the stray dog. We think we are free, but because manoratena satitad vato bahihi, right? Satit to bahihi, whatever. So the whole point is that we, under the mind's control, simply keep roaming in this world. Not that we are free. Under the modes of material nature, the mind is acting uncontrolled, and that uncontrolled mind we accept as master, and we are simply subordinate to that mind. And in subordination to the mind, we are helpless. We are not happy. We are helpless. Right? So our Yamunacharya, one more verse that Yamunacharya sings that is commonly quoted by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam, etc. Bhavantamevanucharam nirantara prashanta nishesha manoratantara kadahamaikântika nitya kinkara prahashaishyami sanata jivitam. So here Yamunacharya is saying that when will that day come when I become servant of the Supreme Lord? Nirantara means without any end. Constantly be servant of Krishna. Anucharan means as a servant. Prashanta Nishesha Manoratanta. Only then will my reckless mind, the restless mind, be calmed. It becomes Prashant. Shant, Prashant. Right? So Prakrishta Rupena Shant. Very special kind of peaceful is Prashant. So that the mind will obtain when it accepts Krishna as master. And then he says, hence, when will that day be mine? Kadaham Aikantika Nitya Kinkara. Aikantika means only Krishna servant. When will that day come? Prahashishyami Sanata Jivitam. Then, when I obtained my position as Sanata Jivitam, Sanat, not Anath. Till now, Krishna was not my master. I thought I was free, but actually I was Anath. I was not being cared for, loved for. But now, when I accept Krishna as master, I have that care and love. And hence, my heart will be fully fulfilled. Correct? When will I become Sanata Jiva? Like that. So, how do we obtain the state of not worrying about what people think? First is identification as servant. Second is oblivious to one's social designation, especially in temple premises and when we read the holy scriptures and chant the holy names. And third is living in renounced temperament. So now after Bhagavatam class, you'll leave. So it doesn't mean again you put slippers, put all the designations back and try to enjoy this world. No, you should live in renounced temperament. What is renounced temperament? Whatever I have belongs to Krishna, hence have to be used in Krishna Seva. That is renounced temperament, right? Of course, all of so many grihasthas are coming here despite so many other possible valid excuses. You're putting all that aside and coming here, that means you're following renounced temperament. Correct? So it is said in Bhagavatam, Barah parampat kirita jushtam apyuttamangam nanamen mukundam shavau karau kurute saparyam hare lasat kanchana kankanam va. Means a person may be decorated with a silk turban. Silk turban is very luxurious asset, or a part of the apparel. So this silk turban, it looks very beautiful. But if that head carrying the silk turban doesn't know to bow before Mukunda, then what is it? That crown or that turban is only helping him drown faster in the ocean of bhava or material existence. So heavier the crown, quicker you drown. Heavier the crown, quicker you drown unless you bow down. Completed. Okay. So unless and until we are ready to put aside our turban of this worldly designation, we cannot bow down to Krishna. Right? And because of that, we become dull in spiritual life. Sometimes we think, okay, initially I was very ecstatic in spiritual life, something new, something adventurous. We dance in Kirtan like small kids. Now 10 years are over. I can't jump like a small kid. Correct, na? I'm not a neophyte devotee. I'm an advanced devotee. So let me act very, sober. Let me act, sober. Let me dress in a very sober way. Let me put one uttari here, ironed wala. And I can come give Bhagavatam class, answer few questions, smile at few Vaishnavas and go back and disappear. I cannot come, struggle for chanting in front of them. What will they think of me? I'm an advanced devotee, correct now? In this way, such a heart becomes heavy and hard. A heart which has attachment to designation of the world becomes heavy and hard. Why hard? Because it's not soft to reciprocate with Krishna's love. It becomes heavy because there's a big burden you're carrying in spiritual life. It makes it as if spiritual life is so painful. But a person who is leaving all his designation, understanding all his possession belongs to Krishna, his heart is very light. That's why he jumps. If you have heavy heart, you cannot jump, na? Correct, na? Heavy heart is very difficult to jump because so many designation, upadhis. That is, it is said, Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatpartvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. So the best bhakti is that which is performed devoid of worldly designation. Correct? And that's what Narad Boy is undergoing, experiencing. Why is he able to experience Krishna in the name? We also chant, but then there's no rasa. We take phone, see other people, judge other people chanting, and 16 rounds are done. What we did, we only were focusing on the other things, not Krishna. So such a name is called Nam Akshar. Nam Akshar means HAREKRSNA. Hare Krishna, that's all. There's no Krishna there. It's only Nam Akshar, it's only alphabet. So that's what we do. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. So that is not Nam. That's not Nam at all. It's offensive name. Krishna is not present. But what Narad Muni is singing, Namanyanantasya. Krishna is there. The unlimited Lord is there, fulfilling his heart with unlimited rasa. And what is the secret of Narad Boy's ecstasy in chanting the holy name? 5 qualities. We already discussed. Same thing. That absorption is one. And that absorption is because of these 5 qualities. 1, hatatrapapatan, not worrying about what others people think. Second is tushtamana, satisfied. Whatever Krishna has to give. Yadichalabha santushto. Whatever has to come, whatever Krishna gives, I'm okay. Why? Gatasprihaha. that I don't have any material desires, so I don't want something else. So even if something Krishna gives or comes of my own accord as per karma, I don't enjoy that. Let me use that also in Krishna seva. So tushtamana and gataspriha. And then fourth quality is vimada and vimatsara. Right? These five qualities help us to gain absorption in the holy name as we chant. Right? And even like 2-3 verses later, Narad Muni says that Pragayatah Swaviryani Titapada Priyashravaha Ahuta Ivame Shigram Darshanam Yati Chetasi. Pragayatah Swaviryani. When I'm singing with singing the names and fame of the Supreme Lord, Titapada Priyashravaha, which is very pleasing to Krishna, what happens? Ahuta Iva, as if I called for him. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur when he would chant, if sometime he will be chanting near a bush or a tree, and he will be chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. When people heard it and saw, it would appear as if Bhaktivinoda Thakur is calling to a boy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, like that. So, as if Krishna is a person there and he is calling Krishna and Krishna is running and coming. Like that he would chant, it is described. So, similarly, Narad Muni is saying that Ahutaiva, as if called for, when I chant the holy name, as if I called Krishna. Like that, Krishna immediately comes and sits in the lotus of my heart. That is a perfection Narad Muni obtains, right? Just by his sacrifice and service. So who is eligible for this taste? Only brahmacharis? No, Narad Muni was a mendicant sannyasi. Only a sannyasi? What about the 99% of this world? Who is eligible for this taste? So in Bhagavatam it said, Stane stita shrutikatan tanuvan manobhir. Wherever you're situated, socially, whatever, in whatever position you are, no problem. In that position, be eager to be absorbed in Krishna's name. Be eager to serve and be eager to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. What does comfortable with the uncomfortable mean? So there's a seminar by His Holiness Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj. Learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So it means that even we are, a teacher or we are a doctor or engineer in our work, we have like full day goes in work and then family and then rest. So where's the time for Krishna? No, do something extra within your dharma, within your varna and ashrama. Do something more for Krishna. Your, say doctor, you can go to school, give health campaign for free and teach them little Bhagavad Gita. Like that. So we should do something extra for Krishna from the routine. Okay. And why we do not get the enthusiasm while chanting? Because His Holiness Romapad Maharaj says that we are in a wet wood state. Now wet wood, it takes longer to burn the wet wood compared to dry wood. Correct? So this wet wood is wet because of two things. What is that wet? It's very important. It's wet because of one, sense gratification desire, karma. Second, mental speculation desire, jnana. Now sense gratification means I am the enjoyer. Mental speculation means I am independent. I use my mind and intelligence to understand Krishna. I don't need bhakti. Right? So trying to be an independent enjoyer, jnana, karma, these two qualities make our wood of spiritual life very slow to burn. Correct? And many, especially those who work in the world, like me and many, so we constantly get association of people of the world and they say do karma and do jnana, do sense gratification, do mental speculation, right? So in that somehow we keep getting contaminated. So what to do? Keep the wet wood near fire. Of course, if you have a dry wood, it's very good. No karma jnana, only bhakti, it will burn so fast. Narada boy. No worldly duties. But even if you have worldly duties, you keep the wet wood near fire, not deliberately becoming wet. Then Krishna will disappear. No fire. So keeping the wet wood near fire, it takes little long, but be patient. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya. And with that patience and confidence in Krishna, the wet wood becomes dry and dry wood burns. Right? In that way, we make spiritual progress. Okay. So in our wet wood state, how do we chant? So King Kulshekar Alwar says that व्यामोह प्रशमौषधं मुनिमनो वृत्तिप्रवृत्त्यौषधं दैत्येन्द्रातिकरौषधं त्रिभुवने सञ्जीवनैकौषधं भक्त्यात्यन्तहितौषधं भवभया प्रध्वंसनैकौषधं श्रेयप्राप्तिकरौषधं पिबमना श्रीकृष्ण दिव्यौषधं. You should take the holy name as medicine, aushadam, right? So I'm not going to explain that verse. Basically, medicine, the holy name is medicine for all our troubles, all our anxieties, all our pains. How? Because the attachment to matter is what is causing all our anxiety, pain, and etc. So, holy name is the best solution. And when we take Krishna as medicine, even if it's bitter, you have to take because you have the ecstasy that tomorrow I'll become healthy. You are very joyful. Hence, during the treatment, also, for example, someone has cancer, grade 4 cancer, everywhere spread. But now we have found a new medicine. With one injection, you will get full cancer to zero. It will disappear from the body. Now, but the only problem is it is little painful. How many of you are willing to undergo the pain? Only two of you? Stage 4 cancer, you know now what it is? Stage 4 cancer is also very painful because it infiltrates the bone marrow and no amount of anesthesia will go into the bone. So it's very, very painful. Our Bhakti Tirth Maharaj had melanoma, malignant melanoma stage 4. And he said, I don't want anesthesia. He said, I don't want anesthesia. Why? Because I'm relishing so much of Radha Damodar's names that I am simply in ecstasy. You cannot fake it. Correct, no? So the whole point is when you have such a big disease and there's a miraculous treatment, even though treatment is painful, you're ready for the treatment. Why? Because your disease will get done with and you will become healthy again. Similarly, the holy name may not be very tasteful for us, but we go on with Utsaha, Nishchaya, Dhairya. Why? Because the entire Bhavarog of forgetfulness of Krishna, that will be mitigated only by chanting the holy name. Okay, in this way, Narad Muni, the Narad boy, made so much progress in his life and came to the state of crying tears while chanting Krishna's holy names. So, in summary, of course, there's much more to speak. This Namani Anantasya. Krishna is unlimited, but in material world, we have to stick to rules of time. Now I cannot follow Hatatrapah Patan. Correct? No? So, because the whole point of Bhagavatam is to serve all of you. So, what we discussed is the Narad boy is currently in such an advanced state of spiritual life that he is able to chant the holy name, and when he chants, Krishna is there in the holy name. He is fully able to experience Krishna. Because of Namani Anantasya, what is happening? And his Hatastapa Patan, he's not caring for the world. Because of that, what is happening? His heart is filled with joy. So Tushtamana Gataspriha, no more material desire, fully satisfied. Because of that, what is happening? Vimada Vimatsara. No more envy, no more pride. Pride and envy, everything is because of material desire. No more material desire, no more envy and pride. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So, any questions, feedback, or comments, you can let me know. Okay. Tripti Mataji had guessed it right. Yamraj. Hari Bol. Okay. Any questions? Online, any question? 5, 4, 3, 2. You have a question? Okay. Correct. Okay, so the question is in our initial stages, it's recommended that we do more service because the karma tendency, so passion in the body has to be utilized. So then how do we focus on chanting more? Correct. So doing service more is not different from chanting in the sense that whatever helps you to chant better, you should do it. That's also considered as part of chanting, right? Because you have a lot of karma jnana tendency, especially karma tendency. Jnana tendency in Kali Yuga is less only, but karma tendency is very much, right? So much passion. If you don't engage that, when you sit for chanting, the mind will go 180. What is that? Book is there, na? All around the world in 80 days. There's a book. So like that, it goes all over the world in 8 minutes. Doing one chanting, all over the world it will go. So like that, we have to engage in service. So it's not that, and also prematurely increasing one's rounds is also not recommended because what you practice is what you execute. When you keep, like for example, your consciousness of faith is up till you can do nice rounds up till 4. But okay, you can extend with faith up till 8. Fine. But beyond that, it's simply a little artificial and you're like looking at phone and doing till 16. No, better to chant till 8. Why? Because with that kind of extra 8 wrong chanting, you're spoiling your first 8 rounds for the next day. You're practicing the wrong chanting. Correct? Rather, hear more, do service more. You get, attraction to Krishna. You get faith in Krishna, that Krishna is a protector, provider, etc. Be all and all. Then you can chant unlimited number of rounds. At least you come to 16. And beyond that, with faith, we can increase rounds. Never artificial. Okay, maybe Like on Ekadashi, once or twice a month is fine. 64, we'll struggle to focus our mind. That is good austerity. But daily taking it up artificially is not recommended. Rather, do more service, do more Bhagavad Shravan. Initially, reading and hearing should be more. Then you can chant. Because chanting japa is smaranam. Only Shravanam Kirtanam is good, your smaranam will happen. You can remember Krishna and you can chant his holy name. Maam chaptum dhananjaya, with a desire to please Krishna. Right? Yes.
Get into focus chanting Bhagwan. And I noticed by the time you complete 16 rounds, initially your mind is wandering, then you bring it back. So by the
Correct.
end, you're more focused. But initially, like you said, it's going all around the world. So, I
No, that's true. Yeah. Hmm.
really.
Yes. So, yes, as you described, it's a common problem for all of us, or more, at least most of us, and definitely me. So the question is that how do we come to focus in the first round and not wait for some rounds to happen? Even Jayapatak Maharaj says that initial 2-3 rounds are like warm-up rounds. It happens because we have to disconnect from the world and focus on Krishna. Correct? Na? So then it happens. So one thing that helps is reading Krishna book in night. It keeps our contemplation on Krishna throughout the night, and in the morning. So that's one thing, and it gives a personal flavor of Krishna. That Krishna is so personal, he's protecting his devotees, he's caring about his devotees like that. Then we want to call out Krishna's name. Otherwise, we're watching, some phone or TV or talking mundane things and go to sleep. Morning also, you have to do a lot of austerity to disconnect from the world. So that is one practical thing. Another thing is, more we read Prabhupada's books, more we become rooted in philosophy. And when we become rooted in philosophy, what happens? It is easy to disconnect from the world. So like that. And coming in association of devotees, when you see sincere chanters, you also want to taste. Like many times when I meditate on how Prabhupada used to chant, or Radhanath Maharaj, or one's spiritual master, anyone who chants, you can hear the recording, or you can see how Prabhupada or Maharaj chants. Then you see, oh, when will I come to that stage? Not as competition, because Maharaj or Prabhupada is expecting that out of us. Correct? When someone asks what will please you the most, he said, become a devotee, love Krishna and give love of Krishna to everyone. So like that. So association of devotees. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Narada Muni ki, Gaur Premanande. And we have Damodashtakam and Guru Puja. So I thank all of you for your patient hearing and bearing through all this while, especially Janvi Mataji and Tripti Mataji for being online for the last 1.5 hours, which is a big austerity. Thank you. Hare Krishna.